What is it like to live with the chronic fatigue of long COVID? Experts say the extreme fatigue experienced by many long COVID patients has a name: myalgic encephalomyelitis, a condition previously known as chronic fatigue syndrome. Researchers estimate that about half of people with long COVID have developed MECFS. After getting COVID-19, you may find you have less energy than you did before. Everyday tasks that need physical, cognitive, and/or emotional effort may be exhausting. You may notice that if you push through your symptoms, you feel worse. This is often called overexertion. Overexertion can lead to an unhelpful pattern where you go until you can't go anymore and then crash with worsened symptoms. This can force you to rest and may result in spending a lot of time stuck in bed or unable to go out. There is no known cure for MECFS, more so long COVID, but some experts say a complicated lifestyle change can help manage some of the symptoms. So just how do you avoid the push and crash pattern and start better routines? A possible logical answer could be being smart about how you use your energy. Much like how you manage money in a bank account, it's just like budgeting your energy so that it does not run out. The thing is, you can actually spread your energy out over days, weeks, and months. There is a way to make sure that you have enough energy to do the things that are most meaningful to you, and it's called pacing. What is pacing? In the context of long-haul COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome, pacing refers to a management strategy that involves balancing physical activity with periods of rest and relaxation. The goal of pacing is to avoid overdoing it and exacerbating symptoms, while still maintaining a certain level of physical and mental activity. In a nutshell, pacing is an activity management strategy requiring people to carefully limit their daily activities, reduce their energy expenditure, and track their symptoms. The truth is, pacing is more of a flexible and individualized approach. But considering what works for one person may not work for another, pacing can also be difficult as it often requires scaling back on mundane tasks that most people take for granted, like rinsing dishes or chopping vegetables. It means finding smart ways to reduce energy expenditure and effort, such as creating water and snack stations around the house to reduce trips to the kitchen. This method allows the person to conserve energy and avoid overexertion, while still participating in activities that are important to them. Over time, the individual may gradually increase the amount of activity they can handle, but the key is to pace themselves and avoid pushing too hard, too quickly. The important thing is to be able to listen to your body and adjust your activities accordingly. In some cases, a healthcare provider may work with the person to develop a pacing plan, taking into account their specific symptoms and needs. How to pace yourself. The first step is acceptance. Accept that all activities take some form of energy. It doesn't matter if it's physical, cognitive, or social, emotional, or spiritual. All these are activities and are therefore energy draining. However different each of these activities are, accept that these may also drain different amounts of energy. For example, it will likely take more physical energy to mow the lawn than it would to cook dinner. Reading a book may take cognitive energy, and having a friend over to dinner may drain social energy. If you were diagnosed with long COVID or CFS, starting off with a small task like doing the dishes, and then resting for a while before doing another activity can help balance your physical and mental activity in a great way. Remember, the goal is to avoid overexertion and the onset of worsening symptoms, while still maintaining a certain level of functioning and quality of life. Why should you pace yourself? To most of those who have been previously diagnosed with debilitating conditions such as long COVID and MECFS, pacing represents a challenging reversal for people who, until very recently, have been accustomed to leading busy, active lives. More than just an activity management strategy to help limit the number and severity of relapses while remaining as active as possible, pacing helps every affected individual to do as much as they can within their allowed limits. If the overall cost for a better coping mechanism means cutting back on both work and favorite activities like cooking, walking the dog, or socializing with friends, then pacing could actually be a ladder up the downward spiral of long COVID. It's never easy, but in the end, it's all worth it.